Let's talk Tanya for the 21st of Nisan, Shvi'i Shel Pesach. We spoke yesterday that it's not enough to have a love for God. We also need to try to have an altruistic, selfless love for God. That when we are doing a mitzvah, it's not only my desire to connect to God, but my desire to connect all the Jewish people, all of creation to God, and thereby fulfill God's desire, which is God wants to be revealed over here in this world. Now, this is nice to say, but are we actually in the position to be able to do that? You know, if we look back, chapter 10 of Tanya, over there the Alter Rebbe describes the tzaddik. For those of you who recall, there are two different levels of tzaddik. A tzaddik is the perfect person. The very highest level of tzaddik, which is a very, very rare phenomenon. Very, very few people achieve that level. The Alter Rebbe describes that as someone who is like a child of God, who strives to serve God for no selfish reason whatsoever, but simply wants to do what God wants to be done over here in this world. That's the highest level of tzaddik. But it seems over here, the Alter Rebbe is telling us in Tanya that this is the intention that all of us should have when serving God. Is that possible? And the Alter Rebbe says, no, but yes. Will we be able to have this feeling truly? And this is our real motivation. It's not about us at all. It's only about God doing what God wants. Can we fully feel that? The answer is no. As mentioned, that is something which is the service of the tzaddik gomer, the complete tzaddik. But in a small way, we can have that feeling. And why is that? Because every single one of us does have a love for God. We have the hidden love for God, which we discussed on multiple occasions. If I love God, then at least in a small way, I want to do what He wants me to do. I want that which He wants. So can I feel that completely and totally? Can that be my motivation? No. But in a small way, I could tap into that. So here we have from the Alter Rebbe something very interesting dichotomy. On the one hand, there is pragmatism, there's practicality. We have to know who we are and who we're not. We're not the greatest tzaddikim. And we have to be aware that to arrive at this level completely probably is beyond our ability. But at the same time, another theme which we find several places in Tanya, what we might want to call lechatchila ariber, which means living a little beyond what we are, trying to reach a level which maybe we might think is beyond us, but at the same time, understanding that at the core of our being, we have such incredible powers, and we are so incredibly holy, that there are certain things that we can tap into, even if it's not where we are, it's not what our level is. And this is something which is true about today's Tanya, true in general. Life has to be a mix of that pragmatism, reality, understanding what we are and what we're capable of doing, but at the same time, not limiting ourselves to that completely, but understanding that there are also some essential foundational powers that we have by virtue of the fact that we are Jewish people. So, in terms of this altruistic, selfless love, by now we understand that we can access it somewhat, not completely. But what is a realistic expectation? What kind of love can we experience completely and totally? And that could be our truth. That will be the topic of tomorrow's Tanya.